So we just had the weigh-in for the Frampton Santa Cruz rematch. Both guys weighed in at 125 pounds bang on, which is 1 pound inside the featherweight limit. So both guys obviously made the weight very easily. Both guys looked in great shape, as you would expect. Now, one thing which I found interesting is that Leo Santa Cruz in several interviews has claimed that he's going to box in this fight and use his height and reach, something he didn't do first time around. Now, if he's actually serious about that, and this is not misdirection, then it's interesting because it kind of reminds me of when Marco Antonio Barrera was a rival of Prince Nassim before they had actually fought. A couple of years before they'd fought, they were talking about the potential of Barrera fighting Prince Nassim. And I followed Barrera's career for several years in the lead up to the Prince Nassim fight. And Barrera was the prototypical Mexican pressure fighter at the time. Almost like a carbon copy. I'm not saying he was as good or whatever, but stylistically, he was almost a carbon copy of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., who was still fighting at the time. He would come forward, throw left hooks to the body, apply a lot of pressure. There wasn't really much head movement from Barrera. And that particular style that he had, the pressure style, coming forward, kind of hunched over and all that, chin down, that kind of style I had seen dismantled by Prince Nassim on many, many occasions. And I'd never seen anything else from Barrera. That's what I was expecting him to do when he got in the ring against Nassim Hamed. And because of that, I heavily favored Hamed to win that fight. When fight night came and ding ding round one, both fighters come out in the middle of the ring and I saw Barrera actually standing tall, using his height and reach, boxing behind a jab and actually counter-punching Prince Nassim. I was shocked. From very early on in the fight, I was shocked because I'd never seen Barrera fight like that. I didn't even think he was capable of fighting like that. Now, I don't claim to be a Barrera scholar. I didn't see every single one of Barrera's fights. So maybe there were some fights prior to facing Prince Nassim where he boxed in a similar fashion. But I did see quite a lot of his fights and I never saw him fight like that before. So to me, it's as if he changed his whole style literally overnight for that one particular opponent, Prince Nassim. I was very, very surprised by that. And Barrera actually said in the post-fight interview, he knew he couldn't fight his normal style against Prince Nassim because that's how he gets you. That's what Barrera said. He said he wants you to come at him. He wants you to be aggressive because then he can make you miss and then counter with the big punches. So I knew that I had to use my height and reach and jab and not give him any opportunities to hit me. So for a guy like that who made his career being a Leo Santa Cruz type pressure fighter, showing throwing a lot of volume and being very aggressive, for a guy like him to just do a complete 180 for one particular fight and turn technician and use his height and reach was very impressive. Can Leo Santa Cruz replicate something similar in this fight here against Carl Frampton? Can he use his height and reach all of a sudden and turn boxer and force Carl Frampton to come to him, force Carl Frampton to take risks in order to try and land because Frampton is the shorter guy with, I believe, the shorter arms? I'll be impressed if Leo Santa Cruz is able to do that. And we'll find out tomorrow night. But that's just some food for thought for you guys. Do you think Leo Santa Cruz will be able to do anything similar to that? I personally doubt it. I think Barrera was a fantastic fighter. I think Barrera was a sharper puncher than Santa Cruz. Barrera was, I think, more heavy-handed and he would land cleaner than Santa Cruz. Probably a naturally bigger guy as well, Barrera, than Santa Cruz was. Maybe they're around the same size. I remember Barrera obviously was super bantamweight, then moved up to featherweight and went up through the weights after that. So they might be a similar size, but yeah, I just remember Barrera being a much sharper puncher, better hand speed, and he tended to connect more cleanly than Leo Santa Cruz does in most of his fights. So I doubt Santa Cruz can replicate something like that. And also, I think Prince Naseem, for example, this is just my view, would have beat Carl Frampton had they fought. I don't think Frampton has the height and reach to be able to do what Barrera did to Prince Naseem. I think Frampton and Prince Naseem are around the same height. So I don't think that outside boxing style would work for Frampton if you fought Naz. But Prince Naseem made a lot more fundamental mistakes and errors than Carl Frampton does. So there was more opportunity for you to capitalize on Naseem's mistakes than there is for you to capitalize on Frampton's mistakes, because I think he just makes less technical errors than Prince Naseem used to. So you have to bear that in mind. But yeah, I will be very, very intrigued if Santa Cruz actually does box and tries to force Frampton to come to him and apply the pressure. We'll see. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hopefully I've given you some food for thought. All right? It's happening. I'm out.